you're a founder or a sales head or a marketing head, you'd have possibly felt this. As the scale goes up, the sales becomes more difficult. Sales conversations become about price negotiation. Your prospects drop at the last moment, they start ghosting you, your sales cycles are getting longer, your customer acquisition costs are going up, and the sales suddenly starts becoming an uphill task day by day. Most teams respond by becoming more aggressive. Let's do more campaigns, more effort, more follow up. However, the problem is neither of skill nor of effort. It is what I call belief. Every sale is dependent on belief. It is a belief in your company, your product, and the outcomes that you deliver. When the belief is strong, sales is easy. When the belief is decaying, sales feels very, very difficult. And this is what I call as belief gap. Belief gap is the gap between what you think your product can deliver and what the market assumes thinks that you can deliver. And between this gap, customers, they hesitate. They are confused. They cannot make that buying decision right away. They have to rationalize, oh, am I making a bad purchasing decision? This is where pricing becomes a long negotiation. They compare you to the lowest possible alternative out there. And larger this gap becomes, the more effort your sales team has to put to close the same deals. And it builds quietly, but it is evident in all sales review meetings. You know that things are getting difficult, but you don't know how to name it. And this is what we call as narrative debt. Narrative debt accumulates when the company is growing faster than the clarity that is there in its story. You add features, you add more sales people, you launch more campaigns. But the narrative that explains who you are, what you stand for, things that you can solve, that is missing. And your teams respond by painting different pictures. The marketing teams tells a different story. Sales teams, they promise something else. And your leadership, they have a different picture in their heads. And this fragmented story carries confusion. It creates confusion in the market. It creates confusion in the minds of your customers. This dilution is narrative debt. And in the beginning, like any financial debt as well, it feels manageable. But the interest compounds. When the narrative debt builds up, there is something subtle that changes in the market. Your customers, they don't come to the meetings convinced, they come to the meetings confused. They come to the meetings with skepticism. And the conversations from being, how do we start, tend to be about, how should I trust you? And why should I trust you? Your customers don't lean in, they lean back. Sales conversations stop being about momentum and they start being about justification. And that is where sales becomes expensive. Your sales cycles are very long. There is endless negotiation on pricing that is happening. Your customers drop at the last moment. Your sales teams need multiple meetings to close the same deal. Every company that carries a narrative debt needs to pay a tax. And this tax is called belief tax. None of this appears on the balance sheet to begin with. But in every sales review meetings, your conversation with your customers, you feel it. Most leaders misdiagnose it as market pressure and they respond by trying harder. More follow-ups, more urgency. But this activity does not fix belief. On the contrary, it only amplifies what is there already in the market. If the market is confused about your identity, more visibility will just amplify that confusion. When the clarity is strong, sales becomes about momentum. When the clarity is weak, sales becomes a friction. And that is why great companies differ from most of us. Great companies do not believe in louder messaging or more communication to begin with. They take more time to decide what needs to be communicated. What should our customers believe about us? What are things that customers should never assume about us? And this decision becomes their belief infrastructure. And when the belief infrastructure is in place, something magical happens. Customers don't come to the call asking why, but they want to know what's next. And once the belief infrastructure is in place, something magical happens. Sales becomes smooth. Customers don't haggle about price because they are already convinced about what you can bring to the table. The conversation about how do we move forward, it becomes a consultation rather than a negotiation. And this is what we call trust premium. Trust premium happens when your customers are convinced about the outcome that you can deliver. Your price feels justified even before you have stated it. With the trust premium, your sales cycle shorten, your founder dependency goes down, your pricing power increases. Companies which earn this belief premium do not believe in louder messaging but clearer signals. They are very intentional about what messages to go out, what needs to be believed, how are my customers perceiving me, and what are the things my customers should never perceive about me. This is where your brand and your belief start selling before your sales team does. In earlier markets where there was less cognitive overload, attention created momentum. In the market of cognitive overload, where the consumers are knowledgeable, they come prepared and having researched about you. They don't just award visibility, they award trust and belief. And this is the revenue infrastructure. Companies who build belief as the revenue infrastructure have to spend less on sales infrastructure. If you see some of the best products, nobody has come and cold sold it to you or pressure sold it to you. You have convinced yourself to buy that product and you have gone ahead and bought it. Don't you want your company to have that belief infrastructure in place? On one hand, sales becomes very difficult when belief is not there, and it becomes very smooth when the belief starts carrying automatically. And that difficulty is not solved by better scripts, better people. It is solved by going deep under you and understanding what you stand for and communicating it in the best way possible to your customers. And this is the work that we do at Kissa House. At Kissa House, we work with companies who currently have a belief gap and work with them to create belief as a revenue infrastructure. Best brands across the world win your belief and trust before they sell to you. At Kissa House, we are obsessed with building brands that want to build this belief premium, especially Indian brands who want to become global tomorrow. If you like our content, kindly like it and subscribe to our channel and write in comments below as to what you think about it.